I'm just going to talk about today. Well, we just had our little recording in progress.
Sorry,
We're
I couldn't
recording,
find it.
everyone. That's all right. So, what we're going to talk to Ida about today is laughter yoga. We want to stay on, because August is the month of happiness, we want to stay on this same ride of happiness. And we thought talking to Ida about laughter yoga would be amazing. Ida actually did a TED Talk about laughter yoga. And so we want her to come in here and tell us what got you interested in laughter yoga and what are some of the many benefits, which I'm sure are like tons that you couldn't even cover in 7 minutes.
Absolutely. So what got me into laughter yoga was I was actually personally looking for what I would call an alternative form of meditation. So I had just left my corporate job at Procter & Gamble in Ohio, and I was looking for some ways to de-stress. And I did try out meditation and learned about meditation. Actually became a student and went to a temple out in the woods. And I found that while that was great and I learned those principles and it was very helpful for me personally, it didn't feel like something I could integrate into my daily life habits. And so that's what I was looking for. So I started Googling alternative forms of meditation. And this is all the way back in 2010. And laughter yoga popped up, and it was, it's still niche, but it was very niche then. I had never heard of it, but I knew I liked yoga. So I thought, let me try this. And I also like laughing. Robin, I don't know if you remember, when I would babysit, trying to get your kids to laugh. And I am someone who just really enjoys any reason to be able to laugh at something. And so I thought, okay, this sounds like something that could be a fit for me. And I showed up to the first session. I had my yoga mat in tow, and the instructor said, "You're not going to need that. That's not the type of yoga this is." And I was like, oh, okay. I wonder what I've gotten myself into here. And it is literally laughing as an exercise. So while I thought there were going to be all of these movements like yoga that I'm used to at studios, there is some stretching and whatnot, but it's not like you're doing downward dog and doing warrior pose and those types of things. It's literally laughing with intention and going through exercises with intention. And the reason why it's called yoga is because of the breathing. So there is pranayamic yogic breathing involved. Because of that, that's how it gets the yoga name. So needless to say, it was a very different experience than I expected, but it was amazing. I laughed for pretty much an hour. It was a 1-hour session. Wow. So once we got into it, and I kind of got over that awkward phase, laughing for an hour, and I had the best night of sleep that night that I had.
Oh,
right. And this is coming out of corporate, right? This new transition in my life. And I thought, wow, there's really something to this. And so then I went to another session, and then the next one, she said she was doing a teacher's session, right? Like a learning course program. So I signed up. So that's how I got into laughter yoga, because really I just wanted to learn more about why it worked and how it worked. And so I signed up for the instructor classes, and then it became something where a lot of people were interested in it, especially in my business circles. A lot of people all of us need to de-stress, but I think especially in some of our work environments, we need it a little bit more at times. So it became something that I started to speak about and to teach.
Very good.
I have a question for you. Like when you did that hour of yoga and I think you're burning a lot of calories or just a lot of breathing, and you're doing a lot of breathing. That's a lot of breath work with laughter. That's so physical. So, and I was thinking about this, like, how don't you just feel, because you feel relief after you have a good belly laugh?
Absolutely, you do. And there also, there are cardiovascular benefits, right? People don't realize that. And I would never recommend replacing it with your actual cardio exercise routine, right? But this is a good addition. It does increase your heart rate. It increases blood flow to your cheeks, right? There's a lot of physical benefits that we get. We actually do burn calories from laughing. Again,
believe it.
It's not at a very high rate. I wouldn't replace your running or your cycling with it. But it is a bit of a form of exercise in a way. And it definitely has the physical benefits. And then the psychological benefits, I think, are really important. So, we release dopamine when we laugh. and we reduce our stress hormones when we laugh. And the
Yep.
guy who started it, it's a doctor in India, Mandan Kataria. He actually referred to it, he started in the 90s, and he referred to it as a peace movement. He's done laughter yoga in prisons. I mean, he's gone all over the world teaching laughter yoga. And what I love about that is this idea that when you are laughing together, it's much harder to stay mad at each other. And it does create a connection between individuals. And that's part of why laughter yoga is done in groups. And it is a way to really be able to connect with one another and form much deeper relationships. I mean, if you think about some of your best moments in life, most of the times they involve laughter.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
There's a deep bond that comes from that. So there's a lot of emotional and psychological benefits that come from it as well.
So if people want to know more about it, or if they wanted to do like a group, are you actively, because I know you're so busy with your other business, but are you actively teaching it, or would you do a group? Okay.
Yes, yeah, I do it by request. So I don't have, ongoing, weekly types of sessions, but yes, I teach it in studio. So I've done full, 1 hour sessions in the yoga studios. We've done them in parks. We've done them at keynote sessions for conferences. We've gone into businesses. So you can really do it anywhere as long as you have, the open mindset to being able to try it.
So could you do it online? Could you do it in a Zoom
Yes, we've done it
atmosphere?
online. Yep, we've actually done it
Okay,
global.
That was my question.
The world, yeah.
good, good. So then we'll give that information in the comments of how to contact you if someone is interested.
Great.
And then the other question I had really quickly is, because I know I don't know where our time is, Kim, but we're probably getting there. But did you find, I know you did the TED Talk, and I'm also going to put that in the comments as well, so people can actually see you in action on the stage doing it. But did you find it took people a little bit of time to like not feel silly?
Yeah, so I will say that's a great question. I think a few tips for anybody that wants to try this, especially if they're trying the TED Talk, if they're listening at home, they can definitely follow along, and I would encourage that to start to learn about laughter yoga. It definitely feels awkward, right? We're used to having jokes and comedians to make us laugh. And that is actually another reason why Dr. Mandan Kataria started this group. It was because he found that jokes oftentimes had to make fun of things and make fun of people to get a laugh. And he thought there must be a better way, right?
Yeah.
And so it does feel awkward to laugh without a joke, but part of how you get yourself ready, I think, is just the mindset, just telling yourself that I deserve to feel this moment of joy in my life, right? And if you want that for yourself and you don't care what other people think, I think that's a huge part of the challenge of getting into something like this. So discard the judgment, and be open to what that could bring into your life. I think that's the most important part of trying this out.
Yeah, I love everything you just said. Like judgment, it's out the window. Be yourself, and who cares what other people think? That's amazing. Good. So Kim,
I was going to say, I'm very curious to check it out because I cannot imagine what it is. And but I would maybe think of goat yoga. I've done goat yoga before, which is more goat than yoga.
I've wanted to try that. That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's really it's cool. It's like, and you're not really doing that much yoga. You're like, these goats are jumping all over you, and it just, and that makes you happy because they're little baby goats are so cute.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how yoga has like how we it's changed over. It's not like how it used to be. It's like we've got so many takes on it now, and I just think it's really interesting that that this is another positive form of yoga, that people don't need to be afraid of it doing it. So yeah,
and I love the connection part that you said, bringing people together, because listen, it's not been a fun last few years, and people really need this now. And I feel like people in the corporate world really need this now because there's been such a disconnect. I know I always talk about my husband. He has his meetings on his little dot, and he sees everyone on a dot, and they don't even open up and look at each other in their meetings. And that connection is lost. And I know there's a lot of companies that do that, and they're not even looking at each other now. So something like this could re-spark that connection in a really happy way.
In a really happy way. And one thing, Robin, that I think is great about this is one of the premises of laughter yoga is getting back to childlike play. It
Mm,
allows each of us to get back to that inner child, because if you think about your kids and you see children, they're running around, they're laughing for the most part, right? And they don't need
Right.
a joke that makes fun of someone. They find the joy in the simple things. And so I do think this is something that as adults, we need even more to, to
Yep.
remind ourselves of that childlike play and to bring that back into our lives.
yeah.
I
So
love it.
important.
I
Yeah,
love it.
thank you. I love it too. So thank you so much, Ida. It was great to meet you, and thanks for sharing what laughter yoga is. And I'm excited to, we'll put that link in the comments so people can find it.
Thank you
Yep.
both for having me. Appreciate it.
All right.
Welcome.
Thanks, Ida. Good to see you
Thanks.
again.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.